everyone. I'm going to introduce Sam today. We met, a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? At a business sort of conference, and have stayed in touch ever since. And I've been following her work and everything on Facebook, which you've all seen the link in the membership. So please go over and have a look at what she does. It's great. And today she's going to just talk about menopause. Was it belly fat, wasn't it? Cholesterol, all those things that we all struggle with. And I know a lot of my members will find this really, really interesting. That's why I wanted you to come in. So I'm going to hand you over to Sam, and she can tell you a bit more about what she does. So welcome.
Oh, thanks, Hayley. Thank you. Yeah, so my name's Sam. I run a business called Fix My Fitness. I deal with physical fitness, but I also deal with mental fitness and nutrition. And I mainly help women who are struggling with perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms to just feel better and give them the tools they need to improve their health, nutrition, and also all the unwanted symptoms that we get around sort of perimenopause and fluctuations in hormones, like with the anxiety, the increase in stress, and also the increase in weight gain, the unwanted weight that tends to go on around the middle.
Yeah.
So I work with women and help them with that.
Brilliant. So we're just going to run through a couple of questions so we can actually find out a little bit more. I talk about how anxiety and stress can affect us, but living with prolonged state of high anxiety that detrimental to the health long term, do you feel?
Absolutely. I mean, everything about us as a species is geared for survival, and our adrenal glands play a huge part, especially in ancient times, keeping us alive.
Yeah.
But the problem nowadays is that 9 out of 10 stressful situations don't require us to either fight or run. But this fight or flight response can be activated by psychological or mental stress. And our stress response system is triggering the release of the hormones cortisol and adrenaline from our adrenal glands. And adrenaline is responsible for redirecting blood flow away from our our digestive system into our limbs, so we can run or fight. It also dilates our blood vessels, so we've got more efficient circulation, and it increases our heart rate, which we know whenever we're anxious we feel that. But it also tells our muscles and our liver just to dump their stores of glucose into our bloodstream for rapid use. So that's what adrenaline's doing. And then you've got cortisol, and that is curbing functions that our body thinks is unnecessary in a fight or flight situation. So it alters our immune responses, and it can suppress things like our digestive system, our reproductive system, growth processes, and it also inhibits insulin function. So our pancreas is working really hard at sort of producing insulin because of our blood sugar, but the cortisol is actually inhibiting its function. So this long-term activation of the stress response system can lead to some pretty horrible horrible diseases and just health problems. And
it just affects everything, doesn't it? Because the adrenals and the spleen and the kidneys and everything's just gone boom, isn't it? So it's just not sending anything out.
And we're more susceptible for anxiety and depression, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, diabetes, sleep problems, the weight gain that we're going to talk about today, and it impairs our memory and concentration. So it's just, sadly, we don't know, or we don't realise we're stressed, or stress is a factor, until we're actually not well, and then we start looking at our lifestyle and what's going on.
Yeah. So how does the actual anxiety and stress contribute to belly fat then?
Well, they think some studies have shown that it's potentially our visceral fat cells, which are the ones around, we find sort of within our torso.
Yeah.
But they have got more cortisol receptors than our subcutaneous fat cells, which are fat cells sort of all over our body.
Yeah.
So that's one line of thinking, but also a Yale study, it's not a recent study, it was from 2000, but it was conducted on non-overweight women, which was really interesting. And it found that non-overweight women who were vulnerable to stress were more likely to have an excess of abdominal fats and higher levels of cortisol, which in turn then increased their risk of things like heart disease and diabetes.
Yeah.
And I want to quote the lead investigator, Dr. Alyssa Appel, on the study, because she said that women with greater abdominal fat had more negative moods and higher levels of life stress. Greater exposure to life stress or psychological vulnerability to stress may explain their enhanced cortisol reactivity. So in turn, their cortisol exposure may have led them to accumulate greater abdominal fat. So the study concluded that cortisol affects fat distribution by causing fat to be stored centrally around our internal organs, which is like the dangerous place for us to store fat.
Because it did, like you said, it's sitting towards the heart and everything, doesn't it, as it comes up, because it gets stuck in the middle. Because one thing I've, from my side of it, where I look at the brain more, you're saying like we don't realise we're in it until a thing. Even just a negative thought, so you don't have to be stressed, but a negative thought can shut down the frontal lobe, so our actions don't work. Then, because we've got shut down the frontal lobe, we're not functioning properly. So then we can go into fight or flight, or when we're in fight or flight for too long, the brain starts to think that this is normal, and it sends a chemical, the body sends the chemical, so the cortisol and everything, off to the brain, which is toxic, and then you become cloudy. So we're going from brain to body to now body fat. You're saying it's holding that. So we work and we're rounding these spirals and getting in this circle. And then we wonder why we're struggling to lose weight, because we're not thinking. I mean, the more we can't think straight and deal with things, the more stress we get because we're not coping. And then we go round and round and round. And now you're saying that that's then distributing into the body, isn't it?
Yeah, right where we don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we think we then send ourselves on these crazy calorie restricted diets, stress about our weight more, and then try and do loads of exercise. And all these three things are actually detrimental to losing this weight. So we're doing the opposite of what we actually should be doing.
Yeah. Because it is, isn't it? You know, I remember looking back, and in my 20s, I put on a bit of weight. Think, oh, I've not been doing things right. You cut out for a couple of days. By the end of the week, your weight was gone. I'm in my 40s now. It takes a little bit longer.
It's not great. And sort of from the age of about 30, our muscle mass starts to reduce naturally. It's an age-related decline, and it's between about 3 and 8% per decade. So when you're in your 30s, you can kind of get away with it. 40s gets a little bit more challenging. 50s, you know, that's when you really start to notice that you kind of can eat the same stuff, but you're actually putting weight on. We just haven't got that daily calorie burn. And then by the time we hit our 60s, it rapidly starts to decrease.
Right.
So it does have this massive impact. And I'll tell you what we can do. We can actually reverse that. I'll tell you about that in a bit. But yeah, just wanted to go back to the whole the stress cycle, and actually it really does cause us to eat more. You know, when we're tired, we make really poor choices about what we're going to eat. And this cortisol, that consistently high glucose levels, along with the suppression of the insulin, is actually starving certain cells in our body of the energy that they need. So they are then very clever, and they send messages up to the brain to say, we're starving down here, trigger the appetite, and then we're then wanting to eat, but all the glucose is in the blood and we're not burning it off by fighting or running. away from predators. So we're then overeating, and that then also gets stored around our body. So our body is telling us that we're hungry because the glucose is in the wrong place. It's starving the cells that need it. And our body's so clever. It really is very clever.
Yeah.
And there have been studies that show a direct association between cortisol levels and calorie intake in populations of women. And it's shown that cortisol directly influences appetite, and it's sadly not making us crave some celery or some kale. It makes us crave high sugar, high calorie foods. So yeah, cortisol does have a direct impact on our appetite, annoyingly, very annoyingly.
So that's how being stressed is causing us to eat more, isn't it, really? So it's sending those signals, isn't it? Yeah. And it is always sugar, isn't it? It is always like a sugar or a cake. It's going, eat me.
Yeah, always sugar. Because we've got those your body is saying, we're not getting the glucose we need instant glucose. So that's why it's triggering that. It's not triggering the things that are going to look after your gut health, for example.
Yeah. So is that the main reason the menopause is causing women to gain weight in the middle area?
Hayley, it's just the menopause. Why do they not teach us about this in school? So then at least as teenagers, we can understand what our mums are going through.
Yeah.
But it's just the fluctuating levels of progesterone that are sort of causing all these unwanted symptoms, the decrease in estrogen. We've got increased anxiety. Some women experience horrible panic attacks. One lady I work with thought she was actually having a heart attack. The panic attack was so severe. And also it can interrupt our sleep with night sweats and things like that, or just not being able to switch off. So all those factors, poor sleep, anxiety, and the age-related reductions in our metabolism through that, muscle mass that we've got, they all contribute to this unwanted weight gain. So it's like lots of different factors. And also the hormones are changing our body composition, so that instead of storing unwanted weight or extra weight around our hips and thighs like we did pre-menopause, by the time we're sort of perimenopausal into the menopause, it's then being stored around our middles again. So it's leading to this abdominal fat instead of lower body fat accumulation, which is harder to shift.
Right. Okay. So, so why does our fight or flight response cause the digestive issues like IBS?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you've spoken about this quite a lot before, because stress is a known, factor in IBS, and IBS is something I've personally struggled myself with.
Right.
That's why I do a lot of my nutritional work around gut health, gut microbes.
Yeah.
But this prolonged state of stress and anxiety just triggers our body to keep secreting this additional cortisol. And cortisol, one of its jobs is actually to reduce inflammation in the body, which is a good thing in the short term, but over the long term, it can lead to suppressing our immune system.
Yeah.
Which we know is not a great thing. So it can wreak total havoc on our bodies. And we know when we're stressed and we get run down, we get ulcers, we're more susceptible to colds and flu and just getting other illnesses, really.
Yeah.
But we're also at an increased risk of the more serious diseases like autoimmune diseases and cancer, which is really scary.
Yeah.
But our digestive system is compromised, so all the blood flow is in our extremities. So it's slowing down what's going on in our digestion, and this can we can develop indigestion, which is a factor as well, one of the unwanted menopausal symptoms. And our gut mucus lining can actually become irritated or inflamed. So we can develop food allergies and gastrointestinal issues like IBS, Crohn's, colitis. So that's why looking at our gut health and ignoring those natural cravings for the sugar foods is just not helping. We have to be mindful about what we're eating and think about eating for our gut health, because when we eat for our gut health, that then helps our whole immune system. I think 70% of our immune response is actually related to our gut microbes. So it's really important that we're looking after them, and it will stop us then developing the IBS or triggering IBS symptoms when we're stressed.
Yeah, I know I used to, when I was working with a lot of the reflexology clients and the NATE, which is the muscle testing for the allergies, that it was very common that if someone starts getting allergic to one thing, then they're allergic to another and another and another. And also, then they get stressed about what they can eat and going out, which caused more problems in the gut. So they were so stressed about doing or going anywhere, the stomach got worse, and they were in this constant cycle. So it was actually working with the fear and the anxiety and all the underlying stuff to actually get the IBS or the allergies and all the thing to build the immune system up.
Yeah.
And it was actually going at it in a very different angle. I find with help as well, coming at it with and at the time I was in Bermuda and we had a nutritionist in the building, so she would send people down to me, and between the two of us we were working at the two of them on like having reflexology and doing the mindset and the other stuff and changing it all. And when we had clients work together, God, the difference changed with them, because we were doing all underlying problems, not just looking at the one thing. Because you can't, I'm a big believer in it's not just me as a practitioner, even if I'm a reflexologist or, you know, I'm coaching or however it is, it's about bringing all levels together to make it right for the person. Because, you know, one thing doesn't fit all, and, you know, even just picking one thing can just be band-aiding one level but not the next. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all unique. Even our gut microbes show that identical twins are unique when it comes to their gut microbiota. So it's not one size fits all. It's not one diet fits all. That's why diets are, you know, they fail 90% of people that go on them. I think the statistic is actually higher than that, but I think it's like 95% of people that go on them. Because it's not one size fits all. And a lot of the time we're eating for emotional comfort, emotional reasons. We're suppressing our emotions sometimes when we're eating or binging, instead of acknowledging our feelings, instead of dealing with our stress, dealing with our anxiety, voicing our feelings. And so it definitely isn't, you can't just take a magic pill or a magic supplement and expect everything to be fixed. You've got to do the work. And even knowing all this stuff, as you know, you and I do, about our health and our mindset, we still have to do the work on ourselves. We still have to keep growing and evolving and practicing what we preach.
And that's what I think is that I find that for me, sometimes clients are talking to things or asking me questions, and I'm speaking to them about something, and then I'm like, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, our clients are a great reminder, aren't they?
Yeah. That's a great bit of advice I'm giving there.
I should really take it.
I used to have that with reflexology clients, and if I got to the end of the week and I've said something about 4 times, I used to look up and go, get it right.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with my husband yesterday, and he was practically sort of coaching me, and I was like, I know all this stuff. Why is it so easy to do it for other people, and yet not impossible, but challenging to kind of do it for yourself and take your own advice?
You'd obviously done a good job, because he's been listening and giving it back to you.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's been listening or I've just sort of intensely been like hitting him over the head with all this information for years, and he's just like, oh, for goodness sake, some of your own medicine. Yeah,
you wait, because your kids are a bit younger. I don't know if you've got one yet. It's when your kids come back and start giving you the advice.
Oh, actually, yeah, you say that. My 14-year-old did say, you know, that you shouldn't have the TV on, you know, you shouldn't turn the TV off at 11 o'clock. It's not good. It's not good for your sort of sympathetic nerve. You know, you're not winding down, allowing your brain to wind down. You should definitely have TV off at 10. I'm like, wow, my 14-year-old is parenting me.
Yeah, it's when they come back with one.
Right, so you can't argue with that, can you?
Yeah, it's one of the lines that you've told them again, and then they come back with it, and you go, "Oh, I don't want to hear that," especially from you.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure, isn't there? Pressure to. Well, it reminds me of things that my dad would say, like, "Do as I say, not as I do."
You do. Yeah, it's funny how it's changed, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, let's talk about things we can do.
Yeah.
All the issues. And
Yeah, so how can we get rid of the unwanted weight around the middle? Because I know that's what everyone's going to be wanting to know.
Absolutely. And sadly, I'm not going to say, oh, there's this magic supplement that you can take. This magic.
All right, I'm going to turn you off now. No, what is it we can do?
Well, actually, there's something that we can do, and it's not the sort of the high intensity stressful exercise that actually has the opposite effect. So people that do a lot of cardio and are trying to lose this belly fat is actually not a great way to burn off the fat. So our bodies can't burn fat if our insulin levels are high. So things that are more relaxing, so physical activity is a known stress reliever, but it doesn't have to be a fitness class or it can be just getting out, going for regular walks. It's simple, we all know it, but we have to keep reminding ourselves, because not often we prioritize something as simple as walking.
Yeah.
But it is important, and just doing things that you enjoy, wherever it is that you enjoy. So if you enjoy dancing, swimming, singing around the kitchen, all things are known. Did I say swimming around the kitchen?
No, you did say singing.
Singing, good. So I suddenly swimming around the kitchen.
Fun! Bit of backstroke.
What are you doing? I'm lowering my cortisol levels. Singing in the kitchen, if your kids allow you to sing in the kitchen and don't cringe and go, Mom, shut up. But also laughter is great. So just spending time with, friends that make you laugh, people that make you laugh, watching a funny film. We don't laugh when we're stressed. So it all signals to our brain that, we're relaxed, we're at ease. So it lowers the cortisol, lowers the adrenaline production. So laughing is great, but one of the most efficient things, especially with recent study and the science around this, that we know we can actually increase our muscle mass. So with more muscle mass, I don't mean like big bulky muscles, I just mean like the muscle tone. We actually can increase how many calories we burn per day. And the nice thing is, you can start increasing your muscle mass at any age. In fact, it's also super important because things like osteoporosis and osteopenia that we become more susceptible to as our estrogen levels decline around perimenopause into menopause, increasing our muscle mass by lifting heavy things and doing body weighted workout using resistance bands, they actually strengthen our bones along with increasing our muscle mass. And having that greater muscle mass means we can just burn more calories per day. It stops the age-related decline and actually sends it on, the upward, upward sort of projection. So we can actually, it's like anti-aging for our bodies. So I'm doing, because this is so important, and as I'm getting to perimenopausal age, it's something that I am now doing for myself in my weekly workout. And it doesn't have to be an hour. It's like literally 15 to 20 minutes twice a week, going for some heavy weights, using them slowly. And I'd like to invite your members to my free taster sessions. I've got 2 next week, and I will pop the details up. And it's on Zoom. They can just log in. They just need some hand weights, and they can just join in and increase their muscle mass. And then that's something that they can maybe do going forward.
Brilliant. And what days are they?
That is Tuesday the 6th at 9:30 a.m. UK time, and Wednesday the 7th at 7 p.m. UK time.
All right.
Yeah, so again, you just need some fairly heavy weights, about 4 to 5 kilos for women, sort of 5 to 7 kilos for men. Resistance bands are really helpful too.
Yeah.
those available. And it's because a lot of us are so busy and we haven't got time to do long workouts, it's important that it's short but effective.
Yeah.
Which is much easier to fit in.
Yeah. So it's just keeping ourselves moving regularly, toned, really.
Just
so
increasing muscle strength.
Which actually helps us for arthritis and, you know, all those things, as well as, you know.
Absolutely. And the more muscle mass we have, the more calories we're naturally burning as we're sitting around drinking our coffee, which is burning more calories when we're sleeping. So it all helps to just reduce our blood sugar levels so that our pancreas isn't having to work so hard. So even though we're not fighting or running away from predators, we're still using, you know, doing what our body
is meant to be doing,
which is, you know, going for walks, relaxing ourselves with laughter, and lifting heavy weights. So even things like carrying bags of shopping into the house and lifting them up onto the counter all counts. It all makes a difference.
All right. So it's just again, like a lot of I do, it's just the simple things, is putting simple things into our lives, isn't it?
Yeah, and when you look at the blue zone countries in the world, those with the greatest health, the longevity, they are not going to the gym 3 times a week and working out. They incorporate activity into their daily lives.
Yeah. So yes, I have a great thing that I do. My members and anyone who's worked with me for a lot, it's about the balance wheel. And it's the module that you can see where it's coming out. And it's not about having to do all of them at once. It's just putting them all in and keeping that balance. And when we're off, we can then look at it to see, and, you know, exercise and all that. And exercise is never a huge part in it, as well as anything else. It's all sort of like natural, like you're saying, turning the TV off, reading instead to stimulate the mind, because all those things, I think, just help the body stay, you know, internally functioning better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The world's just sort of changed into a different way at the moment, and we sort of running around much more.
And stressing about, oh no, I haven't been to the gym, oh no, I haven't eaten properly, all that stressing and, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. It adds to the anxiety and stress levels. So that's not helpful. So I think forgiving yourself really quickly, oh, you didn't have time to go to the gym, but you know what, that's okay. Maybe, you know, just go for a quick walk around the block later, or just get out for 5 minutes, whatever you can do. Praise yourself on those things that you can do, and forgive yourself for those things that you feel you should be doing. I don't know, like you hate those women, we're so good at going, oh, I should do this, I should do that.
You've actually had it, this month was on forgiveness, the whole my masterclass. So yeah, it's completely what, you know, you've just summed it up brilliant. It's, you know, we can't do everything all the time, can we? And, you know, just because we'd set out, you know, and we both coach that you set things out, just because we didn't quite make it, forgive yourself that you didn't make it, and just do something else and understand why, and carry on doing what you're doing, instead of holding that, well, I didn't go to the gym, or I didn't do that run, or I didn't do this, you know. And setting goals too high can be very stressful, can't it? So then you're not actually achieving anything again.
Yeah, and the whole point of goal setting is to have that target, but the actual purpose is to learn and grow, to, you know, towards that experience. So the purpose is the growth, not the actual achievement of the target. And I think when you realize that, it takes all the pressure off.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't achieve my goal, I'm a failure. It's like, no, I'm learning, I'm growing. That's a success in itself.
Yeah.
Which, again, so easy to say.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. But it's important we remind ourselves of these things, that it's about just growing and developing. It's not about hitting our targets and being a success or a failure, because that's really not helpful for our stress levels.
No. So the menopausal thing that you actually do, the program, is that up and running, or is that running at the moment, or is it?
Yeah, so I run Menopause Fit, which was a live program, but it's now being moved to an online program. It's a 12-week educational program for women struggling with perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. And our members have described it as life-changing, because knowledge is power. And when you know what's going on with your body, for a start, you stop being so afraid. But also for some women, they've been to their GPs and been misdiagnosed, thinking it's maybe depression. So they've been prescribed antidepressants, where actually it's menopause.
Yeah.
So it's more about informing women and empowering women to make choices for themselves. That is going to be online, launching later this year, and you can follow our Menopause Fit group on Facebook, or our page on Facebook, for tips and advice as well. And
Brilliant.
also, yeah, we're hoping to have you on, Hayley, as well, to speak to our members, which would be fantastic.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, thank you for that. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or? Yeah,
just when you find yourself being stressed, I'm sure you talk about this with your members loads, just breathing is one of the best things we can do. Just when you're feeling stressed and anxious, just focus on your breath, take a deep breath, let it go, and then maybe count your breathing, or if you know breathing techniques, just incorporate those as well, because they will just help just calm our nervous system, reduce our stress levels. And if it's all right with you, I'd like to do the hypnotherapy relaxation little test now, because rapid transformational therapy is a sort of incorporates hypnosis, is something that I do. And even if you find you can't sleep at night, just popping your eyes up and going into hypnosis can actually help you find your sleep quite quickly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Right, so don't have to do anything or make anything happen, but all we need to do is just literally roll our eyeballs up, so like we're looking into our eyebrows. That's fantastic. Just take a deep breath in, let it go, and then just keeping our eyeballs up, we're going to take another deep breath in and let the breath go. Well done. You should just feel the eyes starting to strain lightly, and then one more time, just taking a deep breath in, keeping our eyeballs up. We're just going to close our eyelids down all the way down, and then when your eyelids are closed, your eyeballs can look wherever they want to go, and just allowing all the muscles and nerves around the eyes just to go heavy, droopy, drowsy. And then just allowing a floating sensation just to wash over you. And just breathe. Allow your shoulders to relax, your neck to relax, your stomach to relax. And then we're just going to drop our chin a fraction, so we get that same looking down feeling, like we're looking down a flight of stairs or over a balcony. And just picture 10 steps in front of you, just descending. And just right now, we're going to move on to step 10. As each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and we float deeper. You're taking step 9, and you can see your feet treading each step as we go deeper into this lovely, blissful state of relaxation. You're taking step 8, and you can hear your feet making contact with every step. You're taking step 7. You can feel your feet treading each step as you go deeper, sink deeper, drift deeper. You're taking step 6, and every sound, noise, and movement around you is carrying you further, way, way deeper into the most healing, relaxing state. You're taking step 5, and you're halfway down, drifting deeper, floating deeper. You're taking step 4 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 3, going even deeper into an awareness of yourself. Taking step 2, going even deeper into your own internal state. And then taking step 1, Just going deeper, drifting deeper, floating deeper into the most relaxed, healing state. And right now we're feeling relaxed. You're feeling calm, feeling easy, totally in the flow of life. You know you are capable, you are resilient, and you feel confident in your own abilities. You can deal with anything that comes your way. And as you breathe, you can just sense your body slowing down, just feeling in this lovely relaxed state, this relaxed flow with life. In tune and connected, in tune with yourself, connected to every living thing on this planet. You have phenomenal coping skills. You are incredibly resilient. And you are right now reconnecting to that confidence that you were born with. So knowing it, feeling it, believing it. Just slowly, calmly, easily, just gently bringing your attention back into the room. Gently opening up your eyes, filling up your lungs, taking a deep breath and letting it go. Well done.
Oh, it's nice to be on the other end and not being the one doing it.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it? It's just something we can do quickly just to calm everything down, and just knowing that we're just reducing our cortisol and adrenaline production, helping our digestive system work better, helping to stop the accumulation of visceral fat cells, which is doing so much good for our body just by taking 5 minutes out just to do something calming and relaxing for our bodies.
Yeah, and like you said, knowledge, and that is just a great tool, isn't it? Because when we know, it makes us make better choices, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And just, you know, even with nutrition, just, I mean, there's some great books on gut health and nutrition, and just being mindful that I haven't slept well, I'm feeling stressed, anxious. Actually, what I might need to do for myself is actually take a moment just to calm, breathe. And then when I've relaxed myself, or even gone out for a walk, or whatever you can do in that moment, you can then look at making better, healthier choices for yourself and your digestive system. And just know that when you're tired and stressed, that you're going to make poor choices. So some days, if you want to go with that, go with that. Forgive yourself. Next day, get up and say, right, today's the day. Can I start with a really great breakfast, or, you know, or lunch, or if you skip breakfast, you know, whenever you eat, just make that healthy choice for yourself in the moment.
That's brilliant. Thank you for that. That's
so
much information. That's great. Also, so if you send me across the info for your sites and your days, and then I will put that up in the site for everybody, so then they have that, and hopefully a few of you would all join in. I know I'll take another look at the dates and see if I can come across. That'd be great.
Great. Oh, I'd love to have you there, Hayley. It'd be fun.
So thank you so much for coming to the Live Better, Feel Better Work Better membership. I really appreciate having you here. It's been really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayley. Thank you.
Bye.